The Hives va a estar tocando el 30 de noviembre aquí en Buenos Aires, en la Argentina, y tenemos en línea a Pelle, cantante de The Hives, que acaba de editar el disco The Death of Randy Fitzsimmons, el primero en 11 años. Vamos a tener una conversación con él. Thank you very much for your time, really. We do appreciate it, and thank you very much for coming back.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming and talking to me. About my band, I assume. I'm trying to set up this video studio. There we go.
We really missed the Hives, especially live, but also we missed the Hives, new records. So thank you for coming back.
So did I. Yes, I'm very happy about it too, and thank you for noticing.
And why did I guess you've been asked this question a lot, but why did it take so long to make a new record?
Well, there's actually 6 Hives, you could say. The sixth one being Randy Fitzsimmons, who disappeared a while after we made our last album. And he's mostly in charge of the intellectual property, as in writing the songs and coming up with ideas and that. So we didn't have songs. We didn't have the songs that we thought should be on an album until very recently, when we actually found songs he had left behind. And it's the first time we make an album without him supervising it. The songs are still his, but this time we did it ourselves.
Is he really dead?
Or is
like a metaphoric death?
I don't know. I think so. We were told he is dead, and I don't know if it's him. He wants us to believe that, or if he actually is. I really, that sounds like something he would do.
So we don't know if the next record will be the rebirth of Randy Fitzsimmons.
We do not know.
Okay, perfect.
We don't know.
There's a lot of things about the album that I loved. Especially, there's like a punk rock attitude like all over the record that is very raw and it's very wild. And it really wasn't what I was expecting. I was in a kind of prejudiced way, expecting like a more mature, grown-up record from the Hives 11 years after. And it's not that at all. It's very young, it's very wild, it has a lot of energy. So how do you do to make that kind of record? Why are you still young?
Rock and roll is the fountain of youth, is the short answer. I mean, look at the Rolling Stones. They look younger than our parents.
Yeah, of course, they do. We hate them. Yeah.
But I think also it was a decision that we didn't want to make a mature album. We wanted to come back crazier and, I guess you could say younger and like more energetic and wild than ever, because we also think that that's exactly what is missing. Like nothing sounds like that. No one's doing that. It makes no sense to do it, but we have to do it. And it turns out a lot of people have been missing that, so it's been very well received, but it was just what we had to do.
There's a song by NoFX that's called When Did Punk Rock Become So Safe? Actually, it's not the name of the song, but that's the chorus of the song. And I was thinking something like that while listening to your record. It doesn't sound safe at all. And a lot of modern music or rock and roll bands are sounding like safe. Not safe in a way, it's obviously best to not come out of a concert injured, but safe in a way like the sound is safe. Nothing bad would happen to you if you listen to this. And I think that's a little contradiction.
It's like a
with
promise.
The history
You
of
feel
rock and
like the band. Yeah, I agree. I mean, rock and roll, if it's not wild, there's no real point in it to me. Because it's just meant to be. I mean, sometimes when we have too much of a melody going on in a song and so forth, we have to scrap it because it doesn't sound wild enough. Like, this sounds too much like a hit. It's not wild enough. Let's scrap it and make something that sounds crazy. Because I agree. I mean, you can't. I also think that it's a matter of how easy it is to make music and make it safe. Like with computers these days, you can make it. The easiest thing to do is make it sound safe. Because you can just press a button and everything's lined up and everyone's playing perfectly all of a sudden and it sounds safe.
Yeah.
Which makes sense if you're building computer programs, but it doesn't make sense if you're trying to make crazy rock and roll music.
Yeah.
I think our version of it is how we do it is, I can tell all the bands out there that want to know if there is a secret. We rehearse a lot and then we record quickly. Like we spend like years playing the songs, kind of like what a debut band would do, like on their first record. And then you can't afford enough studio time So you have to record it really quickly. And that kind of makes that result for us. It sounds kind of like an excited debut album, you know. Whereas if you go into the studio and you start figuring out songs in the studio, you know, it's never going to be the same energy, I think.
And how are these songs born? Do you write after a riff, after a melody, after a chorus, after a word, concept? How are the Hive songs born?
It's very different. It could either be like a lyric where it starts, or it could be like a drum beat that we think is cool, or we can have like a riff that we play over and go over again for like 5 to 6 years before we come up with the second part to it. It's like a really long gestation period, long pregnancy.
Someone in rehearsal, like playing the same riff all over again until they go, okay, stop playing that.
or try to come up with something that fits with it. And that can take a really long time sometimes, because it's got to be right. You know, we spend a lot of time on it. It takes a lot of time to make it sound this simple.
Like in a kind of a Ramones way, right? Like it seems so simple, it's not that simple.
Yeah, if it was simple, everyone else would be doing it too. But no one can do it like the Ramones can.
And no one can do it like the Hives can.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
I kind of gave you a little layup there. I was hoping you were going to say
that. No, but really, the first time I saw you live, for example, it was like a big surprise for me. I like the songs, of course. I had listened to the records, but you don't know what you will find. There's always this, like, I don't know, these European guys, they come here, they may sound so polished. You listen to it, everything sounds fine, sounds exactly like the record, may be boring. And it's exactly the opposite. I mean, you're like a very live band. I believe it's more enjoyable even live than in the record. I mean, are you concerned about that? It's like sets like a standard, and you have to go after that standard all the time. I mean, you must keep being wild, even though I know maybe some nights you're tired.
Well, I mean, we're doing it we're glad the crowd is there and we love the crowd and stuff, but we're doing it for ourselves, and we don't want to be disappointed. So we have to set the bar high, and we have to jump over it or into it or whatever it is we're doing. But we don't have a second gear. Like, we only have full blast, and it's proving pretty costly on this tour, because Europe is like in a heat wave, so the shows are so hot. But we don't have we can't tone it down. We don't want to tone it down. We have to do it this way every time, because that's all you have on tour. It's like, did we do a good show yesterday? Yes. Oh, great. I feel great. Did we do a good show yesterday? No. I feel like shit, until we can do a new show and restore our faith in ourselves.
Is that something that you fear, maybe, like becoming predictable or boring?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm afraid of it, but I hope that we don't. Like, I hope we quit before that. I think it's just like our complete and utter commitment to not being safe. It's what will pull us through.
And do you have people near or around the band that will tell you, like an alarm guy, like an alarm?
Like an alarm clock. I have a friend who's been with the band since we were like 14, since we formed the band, and he's like kind of an older guy, a mentor, if you will. And I made him promise me to tell us when we got bad. So there's like a fail-safe. And then when he tells us that we got bad, we're gonna have to make a decision on whether to continue or quit.
I was wondering about the way that you arrange the songs in the album. These times a lot of bands just release singles, and maybe there's like some kind of a vintage revolutionary thing in releasing an album. And when I started listening to it, like Bogus Operandi, first song that you listen in the record, it's absolutely a statement of what the record was. How was that decision made of starting the record after 11 years? The first song that you will listen when you put on the record is this one.
Yeah, I think that we had that riff for a very long time, and we really liked the riff, and we liked the hooks and the verses and stuff. But it wasn't really weirdly the song that was planned to be first was "Step Out of the Way," which is now the last song of the record. That was going to be first. And then Bogus Operandi was going to be second. But then we came up with that intro or we changed the intro to become what it is now, where it just goes bam, and then like, well, that's how you start a show, that's how you start a record, that's how you start anything. And just going bam, that sounded so exciting to us that we had to put it first. So it wasn't always the first song, but it feels right in the end, you know. It's a weird process making a record. Like there are decisions that you're sure of that you then change, and you know it's constantly like happening. Nothing's ever done until we send it to the printers, basically.
Is it similar record to record, or it's like a whole new experience every time you release another one?
Well, I guess you get more confidence in the process that like, no, it is going to be hell, and it's going to be really difficult, and it's going to be confusing, and you get more used to that. So you're kind of more fine with it, I guess. But it's not easier, and it's not. I mean, to make anything that feels like holy shit in anything is very difficult, I think. I bet if you're designing glasses and you want to design glasses where people say holy shit, that's difficult too. You know, I'm not quite it.
I believe making everything fine is difficult. Everything you in life you want to do good, I believe it has some level of difficulty.
Or you will start, if you make it a good one in the first attempt, you're going to start second guessing yourself until it is difficult anyway. At least that's how we do it.
Perfect.
We got to try every faulty combination before we can settle on the first one we came up with.
Yeah. I guess it must be like a lot of decisions that I don't even imagine. Not only the order of the songs, and also how much outside opinion do you let in the process, or do you like close the doors and everything is decided within the band?
If there's anything we have too much of in this band, it's opinions. We don't need to add others' opinions. There's already enough. It's already
everybody has a voice.
Enough. Yeah, and it's already hard enough to agree within the band that you kind of. But yeah, well, this is the first time we actually played the songs and the demos to other people, like to friends and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was really interesting to see what they said. But then you also know that in your head, you know what it's going to be when it's finished, but the demo is not that. And everybody says I'm used to listening to demos. I know it's going to, you know, what the difference is going to be, but nobody really knows. Like there's stuff on demo stage that can be shit, and then it's amazing once. I mean, it's hard for us to even know, but yeah, this is the first time we played the songs to other people before making the album. We never did that before.
So November in Buenos Aires. Once again, you've been a lot of times here. What do you expect for that show?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward. I love Buenos Aires as a city, and I think we've had some great shows there too. So yeah, I'm really happy to be back, and I'm happy we could be back so soon after releasing the album. I was worried that we weren't going to be able to squeeze in Argentina this year, and then it might like take another year or something. It would felt very lame after 11 years. So we wanted to make sure we got to Argentina quickly after releasing the album, and I'm happy that we are.
Do you have memories of your previous times here, or it's just like a big
like
thing
one of my favorite records?
Touring?
Like, well, like the first time. Well, what did we do? I remember going to tango, like a tango club, and I remember going to La Recoleta Cemetery.
Yeah,
those were like the first things, and I also remember that it was like. Finding out how Boca Juniors named, decided on the colors, that there was a Swedish ship that sailed into the port or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting. Yeah,
exactly. That's the story.
I have a lot of great, and it's beautiful there. It's a beautiful city. So it was fascinating the first time, and it's going to be fascinating again, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be, and I'm really eager to see you live again. So thank you for coming, of course.
Thank you.